Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. We have a knife from Real Steel. Now, this is one of those rare times during an unboxing. That's what this is. It's not a review today. Just an unboxing and first impressions. I actually do know what's in here. They reached out to me, and I remember this conversation. They had something. This is constructed in a way that is not typical. This is a construction or a material construction that we very much do not see. I mean, I can count on one hand the number of knives in the knife industry that are constructed like this with this material. So I'm very happy to share this with you guys because it's not a very expensive knife. A lot of people have access to this for sure. I will link it down below in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to Real Steel for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. And make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. So what do we have here? This is called the Vena, or maybe it's the Vena. I don't know. I would say Vena. It just says Black G10, which that doesn't sound incredibly interesting right off the bat. I know. Here's the thing. If you want to use your if you're on the TV and you want to just scan it, that's fine, right? Now, what we have here is, at base, it's pretty standard materials, right? We have G10, and we have Nitro V. Actually, those are nice, stiff Omega springs. They're very, high-tension Omega springs. Here's what makes this interesting. This is G10 and Nitro V in the form of an integral. This is not something that we see hardly ever. We have the one from Reich, the Thule. We have the one from Kaiser, which is does it start with a B? I can't remember. And maybe two others. I honestly can't remember. I find this to be incredibly interesting, especially considering that it comes in at $85, which I have to say, that's very fair. That is very, very fair. Even though it's just G10, no, it doesn't cost anywhere near what it costs to machine an integral out of titanium. Integral, by the way, if you're new, means the scales are one solid piece of material. Not two pieces, one solid piece. It does cost more to do this, even when it is G10. I also want to point out that the fit and finish on this feels very good. The high-tension Omega springs, yes, it would be cooler if it was a coil spring. Yes, it's technically possible because Benchmade did the Anthem that way. I'm still very happy with this. I can't complain too much at $85, especially, everything coming in centered up and looking good. Actually, because of those high-tension Omega springs, the release off of the little slot there is actually really, really nice. We can see that they have that nested. This must slot in. So this is how they do that. I was wondering, how does the stop pin work? So my guess is we take the pivot out, the blade comes out, and then this little internal cartridge thing, all of this must slide out, or then it can slide out. Now, I don't see much reason for that to come out. That's more of just what's required to have the thing operate. So probably during assembly to make sure that the blade is actually stopping on a steel stop and all this fits, right? All of this is carved out, including the housing for I guess we'll call it the cage, or the internals for the crossbar lock. All of that is milled within this one piece of G10, and then they slide those, or sort of probably have to mash those components down in there to get them to seat. And then you have that stop pin ready for the blade, and you run the pivot, male and female end. When of course the blade sit in there, run the male and female end through the hole in the blade, and you are good to go. Obviously, there's some cutouts there for the bearings, and that's probably how they assemble it, I would guess, right? I mean, during the review, I can take it apart and we can see. But nice pocket clip. Looks like it's mountable for right or left-handed carry, which is as it should be, considering this is an ambidextrous locking position. I have absolutely no idea how Real Steel is heat treating their Nitro V. Nitro V is a steel that is completely and totally appropriate at this price range. In fact, it's very common on knives that cost, I don't know, I would say where it's accepted is knives that range anywhere from $60 to $100, like right in there. So I find that to be totally appropriate. Ergonomically, it feels really, really good. There's nice jimping here. There's a nice choke up spot, and it's reasonably thin behind the edge with sort of this long, I'm going to call this more of a trailing point blade, I guess. I don't know. You guys can tell me what you think. Feels pretty good. I can hear the bearings. See what I mean? I can hear it. Admittedly, though, they're not bumpy. It's probably the bearing cages themselves, not the bearings, that I can hear moving in that little pocket space there. But despite that, no movement and no pivot lash. So it's only when the crossbar lock is not engaged. You can hear them rolling a little bit like that. So, okay, I prefer not to hear that sound, but I'm not too upset about it. I think that's pretty neat. Can we actually see in here? Let's see if I can get a flashlight on the inside. Okay, I did find my flashlight, but with the illumination of one light often comes the diminishing of another. And despite that corny line there, what I'm trying to say is another of my bulbs, my literally multi-year channel bulbs, this one here, I have a light here, 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 and then I got one behind me this way, one behind me this way. This one here just died. If you guys remember during another upload, this one right here straight in front of me died right in the middle of it. This one I didn't catch because it was in between cuts, but it just now died. It literally just perished. So moment of silence for the bulb in the right shoulder umbrella thingy. Here's a little memorial for it. All right, so anyways, let's take a look at the inside here. Yeah, you can see this is how they cut it. So that must slide straight down. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, so, okay, that's kind of neat. So I always find integrals fascinating. What is the advantage of an integral? Well, you could, I mean, like some people make arguments for durability. I suppose the materials themselves, or the material itself won't flex as much given that it's all one piece, but I don't know that there's any real applicable strength here in the, in the context of like pocket knife usage. I think the main advantage is that there's no handle screws that can fall out. I mean, I suppose your pocket clip screws could. The entire, like, the full parameters of maintenance are literally, because there's no reason, unless your Omega spring fails. If your Omega spring fails, then you would need to actually pull out the internals, which would probably require some sort of like hook. I mean, I'm trying to think of how I would get this out of here. If I was going to pull the pivot, you pull the pivot screw out, you pull the other side out, you pull the blade out, right? And then in order to pull these internals out, in order to replace the Omega springs, I mean, you can't do it just by unscrewing this because the Omega springs go all the way under the frame, right? You would need something to get in here and grab onto these and pull them out. I'm going to guess the tolerances are tight enough that that thing is pretty wedged in there. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do that during the actual review to see. But honestly, this is pretty nice. Real Steel makes a good knife. This is a nice, lightweight, compact EDC knife. We'll go ahead and weigh it here real quick. That is not the scale. That is the that's the iPad. Surely the scale is right within my general visual range. And all right, we're back, and I edited myself saying the F word multiple times while I looked for this scale, which was behind my my cooling pad for the laptop. I'm glad that nobody had to hear that. Okay. We're going to go to, oops, we missed it. We're going to go all the way back around. Okay, so the weight on this guy is coming in at 2.6 ounces, extremely lightweight. That's definitely an ultra lightweight knife. So pretty cool, honestly. Probably doesn't help that I huck my scale when I'm done with it, but it deserves it for hiding from me. Did you hear that? You hear me? Don't ever hide from me again, all right? Anyways, yeah, this looks pretty neat. I will have this linked down in the description. You guys can check it out, and then we will come back and do a full-length review on this guy. But that's going to be it today. Thanks again to Real Steel. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. If you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.